Are you ready to reclaim joy in your life? Why joy? Why now? Welcome to Joy Rules with me, Lorelei, your joy guru. While the world looks like it's at a breaking point, burnout, stress, isolation, and overwhelm dominate the headlines. Within all this, there's a longing for something deeper, something that heals beyond the mind. Joy fuels health, sparks expansive thought, aligns us spiritually, and connects us to one another. Join me as I weave astrology, intuition, and modern psychology to ignite your soul's highest alignment. Each week, I sit down with luminous guests who embody joy as a spiritual path, a creative force, and a way of life. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's dive into the joy. Because when joy rules, transformation becomes inevitable. Hello, everyone. This is so exciting. I've been like a little kid in a candy store all day. So, I'm evolving this as I go along. So I'll be introducing my wonderful guest in just a couple minutes. But I've decided, and I did say this before and then didn't do it, I'm going to give you just each Joy Rules a 2-minute cosmic weather update or a state of the universe. Number one, the moon is in Libra, which is why I have the scales behind me, and the moon will be in Libra all weekend. So what does that mean? Well, the moon tends to influence, affect the mood of the public. So the moon is in a sign for 2 to 2.5 days. When the moon's in Libra, it's like a greater opportunity exists to create peace and harmony and balance and to mend fences. If there's anyone in your life that you really feel that there's been some disruption, a Libra moon is a beautiful time to reach out, to share, to harmonize. And again, because everything has meaning and purpose. We're in a last quarter moon. That's the plow under the crops, let it all go, clean out on any level that you can, whether it's your drawers, whether it's a closet, whether it's a file, whether it's your psyche, clean out your closets and your psyche, because at a last quarter moon, we're getting ready to plant new seeds at the new moon. The new moon in Sagittarius is December 19th. So all you Sagittarians, including my luminous guest today, who have had birthdays, your year really does not begin until the 19th of December. So if you're feeling kind of I'm still plowing under, we're in a 9-year. I'm not a numerologist, but I know just enough to be dangerous. And a 9-year is an ending. It's like, so you could be ending from lifetimes. You could be looking at patterns that have run you forever. And all of a sudden you wake up and you go, I'm done with that. Because we have planets moving out of the last sign of the zodiac, Saturn and Neptune, the planet of structure, reality, and the planet of dreams and inspiration are coming together in the first sign of the zodiac in February 20th. That is a major new, we don't even know what this energy is. But if you're willing to look at where you are you believe you're still a victim to anything, this is an opportunity to call it forth, to vomit it up, to let it go, because as I said, we are on a brand new trajectory. And so now, with that said, my luminous guest, Laina Orlando, when I first looked at her chart, it's so funny, Laina, because modern mystic is really a beautiful way to describe you among many other things. So Laina is a sun in Sagittarius, moon in Sagittarius, which is the feeling nature, Mercury in Sagittarius, which is communication, Venus in Sagittarius, which is what do we love, appreciate, and value, and Mars in Sagittarius, what drives us, what propels us forward. And 4 of those planets are in Sag now. So Laina is like the consummate teacher of truth, and salesman, because Sag is the teacher, the salesman, the traveler, the wanderer, the nomad, the truth seeker. So welcome, my sweet soul sister. We have had such a joy-filled ups, downs, all kinds of journey in our time together. So welcome to Joy Rules.
I am so honored to be here. This is so exciting.
So let me ask you, you know, one of the things, because I've been having so much fun with these posts on Facebook. You know, it's like, oh, let me say this today. Let me remind them today. And awakening can be fun.
Mhm.
So you are someone who has always maintained that. In fact, you know, people who like know you but don't know you well, it's like, and they go, like, is she always this positive? Is she? Now, of course, you're human. You're in a, you know, but really, Sagittarius is the eternal optimist. So you've got half of your chart in Sag. So awakening can be fun. So tell us why.
So let's rephrase that and
Okay.
we say it accurately. Being awake is fun. Awakening, going through that journey, you know very well. It's a lot of moments that are not fun at all. That's when you hit those dark nights of the soul and you're in the darkest spaces that you can possibly be in. But what I hope that I do today with the audience, whoever watches this, is inspire them to want to go through all of that to get to the place where they are awake. Because once you're awake, oh my gosh, it's fun. It's a lot of fun because you're seeing clearly what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, you've had so many your the sayings, you know, like so fun and easy. You know, I did an intention. I do this now before every show, what my intentions are, what I the results that I want, blah blah blah. And then I hold a context, like what's my context for the show? If I feel I'm going off track or technically I do something stupid, thank you, Sierra. You know, it brings me back. And so my context for today is fun and easy. So I would love you to speak to your encounter with the divine back because and what you were told and how you live.
Well, it, and this will put in context what I just said is that I had this encounter with the divine in 2007 in August. And it was the most amazing experience of my whole life. I've never experienced anything quite like that. And I have given birth to two children, and I helped deliver my granddaughter. And
Yes.
those are amazing experiences, but they do not compare with my encounter with God, source, spirit, whatever you want to call it, creator in 2007. And after just helping me see what's going on here, helping me see the nature of all that is and my part in it. When we got to the kind of the end of the our time together, it was about a 45-minute experience. I asked, I said, well, how am I going to know when I'm enlightened? And in its very loving, gentle, joyful way, it said, when life is fun and easy, that's when you're enlightened. And I went, you got to be kidding me. At the time, I had three young kids at home. I've got to get kids to school. I got to get pack lunches. I got to drive carpool. I was a realtor. I run a business. I'm busy. I got a lot going on. What do you mean life gets fun and easy? That's just not possible. And it just chuckled and said nothing else. And for ever since then, so going on, what, almost 20 years since that encounter,
Wow.
I am watching things unfold as I become more of who I really am, as I embody all of those planets in Sagittarius. I really live from my authentic self, which is in alignment with the not only the recognition, the remembering, but the acceptance and the embodiment that God and I are one. I cannot be anything other than what God is. And as you two are a student of A Course in Miracles, the Course tells us that, we are one with this creative source. God is. There's nothing other than God. And as a creation of God, I cannot be anything other than what God is. So as I live in alignment with the acceptance of that, and I mean that's a whole conversation to
Yes.
get to what does that look like and how do you embody that? Because the first thing our ego wants to do is what? I'm God. Oh yeah, I'm in charge here. I know it all. But it's a very humbling process of letting go of the need to control, the need to lie, the need to cheat, the need to judge. You
Yeah.
strip all of that, and all that's left is the essence of God. And Lorelei, I have come to understand the essence of God as pure joy,
Yes.
pure joy. And to me, when people say, well, how can it just be pure joy? Well, because you're one with everything. Everything is you. How
Hmm.
fun is that? You've got built-in playmates all the time.
Yeah.
And God is eternal. It doesn't age. So it's joyful because it's youthful. It's eternal presence, and it's at peace with everything because it's one with everything. It doesn't have to argue with anything because it's itself
Yes.
in that state of joy. Well, of course, life is going to be fun and it's
Yeah.
filled with ease because that which is joy is also love. It doesn't put obstacles in your way.
Well, I mean, before I was a vigilant is the word that I use for the course, student of the course, there were certain passages that, struck me like I'm here only to be truly helpful. But the one I wanted to share, since the moon's in Libra, which is about balance in relationships, is the holy encounter that every single person who crosses our path is there to really shine the light of who we are back to us. And and of course then I love the astrological overlay to that purity of just that I am going to find and or lose myself in every single person who crosses my path, because that blame game, it's like you did it to me. And the other thing that I've been so present to, Lina, more than ever in terms of the study of the course, and it seems so simple, that whole thing. We know this moment is the only moment we have, right? We all know the power's in the present, blah, blah, blah. But I'm getting it on a visceral level of, okay, this moment, I love this moment. Don't judge it. Don't resist it. Don't attach to it. Oh, this moment sucks. I'm getting better at not judging when, because that's where the pain is, right? That, I mean, today I will judge nothing that occurs, as this course says.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. Um, two different things that you said. When we can see ourselves in the other, and you are understanding that as the light of the world, as the child of God, as one with the source that of all that is, and it is joy. If you focus on seeing the light in the other, of course it's going to be fun, of course it's going to be joyful, and it just it moves in that direction. And it's a frequency.
Hmm.
My chart, you see the spiral here, that's the map of consciousness
Hmm.
I took from the Power versus Force book by Dr. David Hawkins, and everything is calibrated. Well, joy is at the very top of that high
Hmm.
frequency. When we understand that everything is an encounter with yourself, it's
Yeah.
like it's a reunion. It's
Yeah.
joyful. It's fun. It's like, oh, I get to see you again. We were just talking before we started this program uh, about Christmas coming up and connecting with people and having fun and seeing. Well, that's how it should be all the time. We
Yes.
should be in a state of excitement all the time to see one another.
Yes.
But what happens is you start believing things that are not true. We're all conditioned since we were, for thousands of years, our minds have been conditioned away of the truth of who we are. So we have been wandering in the desert for thousands of years, thousands of incarnations, trying to find ourselves when all we need to do is really begin the process of realizing, well, what created me? The stumbling block to going down the route of that question, what created me, and going down the path of getting to know God, is that we have been lied to about God,
Hmm.
told things about God that are not true.
Like what?
Well, that God's outside of us.
Mm.
We've been told that God is on the clouds out there somewhere, kind of like Santa Claus, and is going to bring us presents if we're nice, but if we're naughty, we're going to get in trouble. That is not true. God is within. And even master teachers like Jesus told us that God is within. I and the Father are one. The kingdom of heaven is within.
Hmm.
So the process of awakening is looking at a lot of these distortions, this manipulation of truth. And the only reason it has been distorted and manipulated is because it makes us fearful. And fearful people are easy to control. So when you find your voice, you find who you are, you cannot be controlled. All you're going to do is, when you know the truth, again, when you're awake, is extend the kingdom, expand it, share the joy, share the fun, celebrate, co-create. So it just changes who you are completely when you know that God's not out there, it is inside, and you don't need a middleman or a middlewoman to get
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
And then you're creating a relationship with yourself and you're coming within. So that's when you know that truth, when you're awake to that truth. Yes, of course, you see God in every person that you see. It makes it so much fun. But the judgments and all of those things, that's where the real work happens.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's so interesting because when I was thinking about our conversation and thinking about when you and I, and we talked about this over the years, we'd connect and then we'd go apart and then we'd connect again. And we always connected in joy. And the sign of the zodiac, I mean, joy can be everywhere, but if we're going to put things just under this particular umbrella, the sign of the zodiac that has to do with joy is Leo. And you have the north, you have a Leo construct in your chart. I have Leo energy in my chart. What I see in you that I see in me, right? And we would have this explosion of joy. Where I most remember it is in the foyer at Unity. You know, we'd see each other and it would be this woo. And it was almost like, I think maybe for me, I needed to up my own joy quotient in order to be able to share with you because every time we've ever connected, even when I was in my health adventure, which you were such a beautiful guidance in that process. But just knowing that we invite every experience into our life. Like one of the things, and I know we're coming to the end of the show in a few minutes, but one of the things we talked about, and this kind of relates to what I just said, that, you know, we invite every experience no matter what it is. One of the things you said was be the eye of your own storm.
Mm.
Can
Yeah,
you can you say like
totally. Totally, because the eye of the storm is always the calm, peaceful center within everything. And coming to know God, as I said, it's not outside of us. And in the word that we call it really doesn't matter. We call it creator, call it what feels comfortable. Creator, the Holy Spirit, God, I used to, you can call it Buddha, you can call it Bambi, you can call it Baba. It does not matter. When you begin to have a real relationship with that aspect of yourself that is all knowing, that is the wisest part that we have access to within, you're moving into your center. You're coming in to a place where you can't be shaken out of if you know the truth of who you are. So being the eye of your own storm is to come in and be seated. It's like Gary Zukov, who has written so many wonderful books, and he says, sit in the seat of your soul.
yes.
Ground yourself in who you are. This is what also some religious teachings have said: build your house on a solid foundation. That means you know who you are and you operate by the truths of who you are. So if you know that you are one with the creative source, you have access to infinite guidance, infinite creation. So there are no problems anymore. Everything is an opportunity. Everything is an adventure, as you said. Everything is a chance to see, okay, what else can I do? So nothing becomes difficult. The next thing is that you know that you're eternal. Therefore, if you're not worried about you're going to get killed, you're going to die, you're going to get sick and be in a state of inability to handle whatever is happening, when you don't have those fears, in that fearlessness, you know that you're eternal and everything is an opportunity. Now everything truly becomes an adventure. So the stuff will be happening. I mean, my journey did not stop the stuff from hitting the fan. It was always happening, divorces, and my son going, one of them, through a drug adventure, 4 years, lots of different things that were challenging, financial challenges, all kinds of things. But what this journey has taught me to do is to sit so comfortably in the truth of who I am that
Mhm.
I know I have this confidence, which again, where my joy comes from, my peace comes from. I can handle anything because he who created me goes with me wherever I go. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, it goes in front of me
Yeah.
because it's always there. So becoming the eye of my own storm is knowing that I take 100% responsibility for my ability to be able to deal with whatever is before me.
Yes. And I love, I keep coming back to the all things work together for good, which is so interesting because there's the Bible quote, which is all things work together for good. I think it's Romans something, for he who loves the Lord or he who loves God. In the Course in Miracles, all things work together for good. There are no exceptions except in the ego's judgment. And that has been, I mean, those moments of peace that the Course promises, they're getting, I'm experiencing them more and more. Like I have enough evidence that it works. And and to you, and I'm so grateful for that. And as I said, I see you every day because you did the 365 lessons and I watch you. You're one of the three people I watch every day. So I thought, oh my gosh, there she is. I'm going to see her live a little later. Yeah. So, and just I'm here to be helpful. I'm here only to be helpful and he who is who I represent will show me how to be in service, correct?
Yeah, totally, totally. One thing that I've been teaching, coaching for, it's hard to believe, going on close to 20 years, 18 years, something like that. And the thing that is so consistent throughout all of these years is that ability to have experiences that prove to us this work really, this is powerful, this really works. And then you begin to open yourself up to let everything be helpful, to recognize that everybody that shows up is a mirror, is bringing you something that is going
Yes.
to be making your life, so much funner and easier if you're willing to receive that.
Yes. And you know what's so interesting, having just come off a breakthrough weekend, and of course, you and I met at UIO 20 something years ago. Same thing. I mean, the same thing. It's like you see yourself coming and going. So I'm so grateful for the knowing and you have always embodied this community is what's going to save us. I mean, spiritual communities, dance communities, pickleball community. I mean, it is community, coming together with like minds, like hearts, and like soul. So what would you like to leave folks with, Lina? What would you, if they didn't hear anything else today, and you have like a minute just to say, here's a message that can ensure your joy and well-being. What would that be?
I would say come to know the truth of who you are. Don't settle for your average things that are happening in life, a house, a child, a job, the elections, who wins. Don't settle for that being the source of your happiness. I would say come to know who you really are.
Mhm.
Meet the source of your happiness, your joy, your peace. It is inside of you. And I have never found a teaching like A Course in Miracles that makes it so clear how to come to know who you are.
Yeah.
Because it's a beautiful journey, and it's like you said, in community. That's why I have a community, to help people who are students of the Course in Miracles, who really want to go deep into it. But nothing has changed the lives of some of my students more than just committing to learning who they are according to the Course.
And tell folks how they can reach it about the academy. Just give them the.
So it's called the Awareness Academy because all my work is about the power of awareness, becoming self-aware. And you can either search my name, Laina Orlando, .com, or you can go to the awarenessacademy.com. Either one will lead you to wherever I am. And on all social media, I use my name, Laina Orlando. It's kind of an unusual name, so you don't have to go through too many to find me. But that is, yeah, that's my greatest joy, is to help people connect with their own joy.
I know, and I am so grateful to you in so many ways. And thank you, my sweet soul sister. We will to be continued.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for listening to Joy Rules with me, Lorelei Robbins, your joy guru. If this episode sparked something in you, don't keep joy to yourself. Share and spread the light. Tune in the second and fourth Friday of the month at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, right here on Transformation Talk, where together we reclaim joy as the foundation for transformation. To dive deeper, visit me at joyrules.com. And remember, joy isn't optional, it's essential. And visit joyrules.com for lots more joy. Until next time, keep choosing joy and join the joy revolution. And until we connect, I wish you blue skies, green lights, and lucky stars.